service known to patients and caregivers, and reach this group like never before. Call 810-423-2350. YouTube, Ustream, and social media in combination with 1310 WDTW and RadioWeedShow.com give you huge visibility. Affordable, effective advertising is here. Call 810-423-2350 now.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now.
Radio Weed Show. Flashback.
I tell you what, we've got an exciting 2012 being an election year. A lot of things going on, especially in January, too. That's quite an active calendar for this month.
With us on the phone out of California with law enforcement against prohibition is Judge Gray. Judge Gray, welcome to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Steve, thank you. Been looking forward to it.
We're really excited, super excited to have you on. I mean, the things that you go out and help people accomplish with your voice is immensely important, and we want to honor and recognize you for that.
Well, that's nice, and thank you. Honestly, because of my background, a former Navy JAG attorney, former federal prosecutor in Los Angeles, and now a retired judge after 25 years on the bench, I have seen really what the harms are caused by drug prohibition, such that I've concluded the most patriotic thing and the most effective thing I can do for the country I love is to help us repeal this failed and hopeless program.
Well, Detroit will soon see something new on their ballot in November, Proposal M. And it's all about marijuana. Fox News' Ronnie Dahl tells us how it got there and what it could mean if approved. Ronnie.
Yeah, you know, the supporters actually got enough signatures to get this initiative on the ballot a few years ago, but yet this got caught up in the courts. Well, this is the court order making sure the Detroit Board of Elections complies, which means come November, Detroiters will be allowed to vote on this issue. Pot, marijuana, reefer. Using it or possessing it could get you busted by the cops, but that could change in the city of Detroit.
If this ballot provision passes, a person who is over the age of 21, who is on private property and in possession of no more than 1 ounce of marijuana could not be prosecuted under city ordinance.
The city of Detroit's election commission losing a long legal battle which would allow Detroiters to vote on amending the 1984 Detroit City Code to exempt adults from criminal prosecution for the possession of less than 1 ounce of weed. The issue went all the way to the Michigan Supreme Court.
The heart of the issue is the fact that some things should not be crimes.
Tim Beck is with the Coalition of a Safer Detroit and behind the initiative. He and other supporters claim busting people for smoking or possessing weed is taking away from resources that could be used to fight more serious crimes.
It's about $600 an hour when you take the criminal justice system, police costs, court costs, on, and you times that out, it's about $2.8 million. So we got $2.8 million right on our bottom line right away.
It seems like that we could refocus the efforts, the limited efforts of Detroit police, who are, have dwindling resources all the time, on that violence, and not in a place where no violence is occurring.
Should someone be able to light up and smoke a joint at home?
I think they should be able to do what they want to do in their own house.
Come November, it will be up to voters to decide. After more than 2 years of being tied up in court, Proposal M will be on the ballot.
Weed smokers don't bother anybody.
I'm totally against people smoking pot at home, in the streets, anywhere.
And supporters believe they'll have no problem getting this passed in the city of Detroit come Election Day. A similar initiative will also be on the ballot for Flint voters to vote on. Of course, once this does pass in Detroit, if it does, the supporters believe that would give them the momentum needed to get this passed statewide. We're live in downtown Detroit tonight. Ronnie Dahl, Fox 2 News.
So, Ronnie, just so we're clear the smoke about this issue, if approved, would it really legalize marijuana in Detroit? There's also federal law to be concerned about.
Yeah, you kind of wonder if this does not legalize marijuana. Why are they doing all of this? But they really do believe that if they can get this issue passed in Detroit, that will give them the momentum to get the issue of legalizing marijuana statewide. That would give them the momentum to get it approved. So it does not legalize marijuana. In fact, Detroit police could still bust someone under the state or federal guidelines. But of course, if they were to do that, that would take away funds from the city of Detroit. So they believe that it would take away the initiative for them to go ahead and bust people under the city ordinance. So there's a lot of stuff behind this, but no doubt the bigger picture here is they would like to see marijuana legalized statewide. Huel.
Well, either way, it makes a statement. Ronnie Dog, thank you.
Countdown to launch. The medical marijuana
Launch commit.
radio show.
Guidance is internal. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. Power clear.
The medical marijuana radio show is a production of the Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
You tuned in to that medical marijuana show. 855 Triple M Radio. Keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal. Hey. You tuned in to that medical marijuana show. 855 Triple M Radio. Keep it legal, keep it legal.
Hey folks, we're in the beginning of September and we're live in Detroit.
Okay. Steve is the host with the co-host Denise. Starting at noon Saturdays every week. Yes, we keepin' you legal. Legislators and lawyers, doctors and the growers. The show is for the people. Michigan medical marijuana, no hassle. We talk about anything, any issue we can handle. Call us up and let us know what is on your mind. And make sure when you do it legal every time. Hey. You tuned in to that medical marijuana show. 855 Triple M Radio. Keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal. Hey. You tuned in to that medical marijuana show. 855 Triple M Radio. Keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal.
So one thing we got to talk about here up front is I missed Denise. We did the bridge walk last week. We weren't on the air, and your mic's on now, Rick.
It was so much fun. The bridge walk was great. Thank you to everybody that participated.
Denise, we missed you up there. We were having a lot of... Denise was hanging out with her kids somewhere else up north.
Oh, that would be great to take her kids up to, though. I mean, there were so many children and even elderly people, folks in wheelchairs and walkers that made the 5-mile trek. It was inspirational.
Welcome to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show for Saturday. What's today, September 8th?
The 8th,
It's the 8th, 2012. We've got so much to talk about and so much to do in so little time.
Fantastic special guest, too.
Yes, so we got stuff everywhere. I mean, we got the Cedar Point thing coming up. Don't forget on September 29th.
Halloween.
We've got a spot on the website at radioweedshow.com if you want to come with us, even if you don't win tickets, because we are giving tickets away on the show today and on other shows. So please listen in for that. Go to radioweedshow.com if you want to come with us. Buy a ticket. You get them at the group discount price. I think it's like $37. It's like 56 or 7 or something at the park.
Yeah, they raised it for the Halloween weekend.
Halloween weekends we're going for. Kicking that off at the end of September. So we're looking forward to that whole spiel. That's going to be a lot of fun.
There's new information on that new ride, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that then coming up. Also, on today's program, we'll talk about what's going on next week. I believe we're going to be out in Kalamazoo.
Another one of those fun remotes. Yes, we love those broadcasts.
Going to be out at Kevin Spittler's place at Med Joint, the world infamous Med Joint. Well, they're infamous in Michigan anyways.
Well, no. Now they're internationally famous thanks to somebody. Yeah, that's right.
Who's the somebody?
That would be me.
Hey! Yeah. You got that Bridgewalk story in, right?
The Bridgewalk story is gone. It not only went viral, but it also went out. It's been published in Israel, in Australia.
The people in Waikiki are looking at their hometown newspaper, looking at the stuff. I think didn't they? I saw a post from Brad Forrester.
Brad also submitted some photos and a press release as well, which National Normal picked up and broadcast too. Every time someone looks at this program and they see what we've accomplished, it's easy to reproduce, but somebody had to do it first. And thank goodness we had someone with the organizational skills of Brad Forrester from Sheboygan Normal to help us make that happen.
Yeah, look, it was a lot of fun and it was a great idea. And thank you to the guys from Michigan Normal who invited us up on the bus, John Davis. And, I wouldn't have had a chance to go up there if it wasn't for John. I was looking at the last minute. I'm like, crap, there's no gas money. I don't know anybody else who's going who's near me. So I managed to hitch a ride on the Michigan Normal bus. We left from Troy. We documented all that stuff. It's on the Facebook page. If you go to radioweedshow.com, there's a link to to my Facebook page. You can get over there and check out there's live video from the bus. So we did right on Facebook at the time.
Sure did. Not only that, Jack Einhart from the Macomb Oakland Compassion Club also put together a great video, which has a nice soundtrack, which is on Facebook as well. People should check that out too. See a lot of friendly faces there, and to really get an idea of what it's like for the entire walk as you move all the way up towards these gigantic columns. It almost looked like another species created them. I mean, the bridge itself is such a massive structure. It's almost like human hands couldn't have done this.
Well, and it's so out of place in that just northern wilderness. It just seems so... It's so industrial out of nowhere.
Really is a fantastic, one of our true man-made wonders. And I still think that is the longest suspension bridge.
I think there are longer ones
in Japan.
now. Yeah,
there's only one. There's only one, and it's in Japan, and it beat us by, I believe, 300 yards.
They were struggling.
I thought it was a little longer. Wow.
No, it's actually minute, the difference. But it does connect the city.
The longest in the Western Hemisphere, then I'll say.
And considering it was built in 1957.
You really can't tell until you get up there. I've only had a chance to see the bridge a couple of other times, never had a chance to walk it. So if you ever get a chance to do it next year, we're going to do it again. It's the first annual this year, second annual next year for the Michigan Normal Group.
That's right.
Fighting for the legalization of hemp and marijuana. Back with more on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show with Jane Felice Boudreau next.
Got something to say?
Call now toll free 855-MMM Radio. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
If you or someone you know received a traffic ticket, has been charged with a misdemeanor, drinking and driving, criminal offense, or has had their driver's license taken away, they need an attorney. They need attorney Glenn McCandless. He's helped hundreds of people solve their legal problems over the past 16 years.
My law firm is dedicated to providing quality legal services at affordable rates.
Call us at 586-755-2900. Again, that's 586-755-2900. Call now.
Hey, Metro Detroit, come to Nature's Alternative, a clean, safe, secure cannabis provisioning center on the Grosse Pointe Detroit border on Mack Avenue. Nature's Alternative has a professional, knowledgeable, and friendly staff helping patients and caregivers daily with a complete line of medibles, concentrates, topicals, and raw flowers. You'll get only the best medical-grade cannabis produced by Michigan growers and caregivers at Nature's Alternative. Open 7 days a week. A proud supporter of the National Patient Rights Association. Details at naturesalternativeclinic.com or call 313-885-0000. That's 313-885-0000. The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069. Introducing the Bolt, an incredible tool patients and caregivers find invaluable. It's widely known that concentrates are an effective yet expensive quick fix for pain and nausea, but oils and earwax are messy and easy to waste. The Bolt is made of titanium, just a dab, easy to use. No mess, no expensive waste. Get the Bolt of the new Thunderbolt, made in the USA, right here in Michigan. Details on how to equip your club or dispensary at the-bolt.com or call 586-540-7582. The Bolt, 586-540-7582.
Our neighbors did not agree to pay Mike Bouchard $10,000 a month to be an absentee leader. Hello. My name is Jane Felice Boudreau, and I'm running for sheriff because the taxpayers of Oakland County deserve better. He ran for U.S. Senate, he lost. He ran for governor, and he lost. How much time on our Oakland County dime are we going to allow this man to continue to look for another job? This November, you have a choice. Please vote for me, Jane Felice Boudreau, for Oakland County Sheriff. Paid for by the committee to elect Jane Felice Boudreau for Oakland County Sheriff.
Nothing bonds friends quite like a day of white-knuckling it together. And Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio is just the place for it. Because you'll be clenching your fists in anticipation of one adrenaline-pumping, stomach-testing roller coaster after another. Like Top Thrill Dragster, which takes you from 0 to 120 miles per hour in less than 4 seconds at 420 feet up. And Maverick, where after several twists and turns, you'll be launched through a 400-foot pitch-black tunnel. Not to mention the Giga Coaster Millennium Force. With with an awesome 300-foot first drop and 4 overbank turns. But the anticipation doesn't stop there, because after the sun goes down, there's Luminosity, the nighttime spectacular filled with music, lasers, and fireworks. And there's never been a better time to go, because you can save $15 with the weekday saver ticket available online only at cedarpoint.com. Check out all other online-only discounts, too, and save now. Plan your day of screams at cedarpoint.com. Cedar Point. Thrills connect.
1310 WDTW, Detroit's Progressive Talk. This is the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. About 18 minutes past 12 o'clock. Steve Greene here with Rick Thompson and crew. That would be Ryan Brigold. Ryan, did you prepare the news today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Everybody's got the yes, sir.
I'm here on time with the news.
It's going to be such a 2012. That was so 2012, the yes, sir. Yes, sir. A special guest in the studio today. You heard her commercial during the program break.
Awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce Jane Felice Boudreau. Hey, welcome to the show.
Woo! Thanks, gentlemen. Nice to be here.
Running for sheriff.
Running for sheriff. A girl can actually be the sheriff.
Hey, I've never doubted it. Why should that be an issue?
Yep. No, your sex should be an issue at all. I love the statements that you made in the commercial there, taking it right to the current guy that's in that office. I hate to say his name.
I hate to say his name, too, so we'll just leave that. People can...
Yes. Who? What are you talking about? I forgot.
Exactly.
Right. He says his name enough. We don't need to say it for him.
the out-of-towner. Yeah. I certainly remember the alligator incident, and those of you who are familiar with that, what an embarrassment nationally for us.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a tiny little thing. It
was really small, and for him to say, what he said about this is not a Cheech and Chong movie. This is Michigan. It was so self-promoting, so self-elevating.
Well, at least if you were going to hold up an alligator, hold up a real one.
Oh my goodness
right.
gracious!
I agree.
Don't get the wind-up one.
Yep, and for our community, that was just one indicator of some of the misdeeds that were going to be taking place from the Oakland County Commission or from Oakland County Sheriff's Department, and still they persist unto this day. And I know that you have a completely different attitude about this. And would you tell us a little bit more about your positions and what's important to you as far as becoming Oakland County Sheriff?
Sure. I mean, in relationship to the community that we're here talking about today is, the people of Michigan have spoken. It's not up to the sheriff of Oakland County to decide which laws he doesn't like or likes better or wants to change. I mean, and this is just my opinion, but my opinion is that the reason that he took such a stand on the medical marijuana issue is after he lost the governor's race, and he didn't just lose, he lost bad. He finished at the bottom of the primary, and I think it was a way for him to say, what can I do to try to get my name back out there, because he likes to do things that, shake the bushes and throw his name out there. And I think when he partnered with the current prosecutor of Oakland County to go out and effectively decide he wanted to bring cases forward, and hopefully then they would go to, the courts, then the Michigan Supreme Court, and decide. I think he took it upon himself to decide to make those changes, and I really don't think that's what we're paying him for.
Well, I think that you're definitely right about trying to keep Oakland County in the spotlight, so to speak. Trying to keep it in the news, making a new case law through their actions, their highly aggressive actions. Oakland County has been recognized throughout Michigan as the most aggressive county towards licensed medical marijuana patients and the businesses and people that service them.
Let me just preface this conversation, if I can, with the idea that we have opened the door for Mike Bouchard to come on and give his position with regards to his campaign. So we're not being one-sided about this whatsoever.
Right, and I would love to be able to meet with him.
Yes. We should have a cardboard cutout here in the studio of Mike Bouchard.
Well,
it's busy at the sheriff's office.
It doesn't mean that he's declined. He may take advantage of this opportunity at a future date, and I would welcome him on, and we would treat him kindly. I mean, respectfully. I mean, this is what we do with political candidates in America. So I just wanted to preface this conversation with that idea. This isn't a Bouchard bashing contest, but it is an opportunity to highlight another candidate with a different position, especially as it relates to this group.
Right, absolutely, and that's all I'm asking for. I mean, in any circumstance that I talk, any group that I speak to, it's people don't like negative campaigning.
Right.
And that's not what I'm trying to do in my campaign at all. What I'm trying to do is make the current sheriff talk about his own record. And this is what he did during his tenure as our sheriff. And so when we speak to the medical marijuana issue, the particular case that comes to mind for me is the gentleman up in Oxford, the north end of the county, where they broke down his door, and a day later the man had a heart attack. His family has to deal with that devastation, and for what?
This would be the agros, I believe you're speaking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just unbelievable to me. I mean, when somebody has a medical condition and they need whatever medicine that they need, and if their doctor's prescribing it, who am I to come and decide that that's not the right course of treatment? So I have a sister right now that's suffering from breast cancer, and actually I am getting her to be able to work with a caregiver, and we're going to take her to a doctor to see, because she's been on a feeding tube for over a year. She's down to 60 pounds. So you're telling me that if we can't find something, or we can find something that, has to do with medicinal medical marijuana, then I'm all for it. I love my sister, and I want her to be here. So I'm open-minded, and I think that's what people need to understand about me versus my opponent, is that I'm open-minded. I'm very open to coming out and speaking to the community, and I'm opening to learn. And I think that's what I've done with your community, as I've really gone out and talked to so many people and listened to their opinions and in what they're doing. And I've learned a lot, and that's what this is about.
One of the concerns that our community has is access that the police officers have to the LEAN database, and some of the changes that are proposed in the legislature would give officers great access to LEAN in order to be able to research who is and who is not a medical marijuana patient. There are strict policies about LEAN violations.
Correct.
Do we see LEAN violations prosecuted very often? And if you were to take the sheriff's position, as we hope that you will, what kind of policies would you put in place to ensure that LEAN access is only given under the correct parameters?
Well, the Law Enforcement Information Network, which is LEAN, which is the computer that all law enforcement uses across the country, that database is specifically used for criminal purposes only. And I can tell you, in my 28 years of law enforcement, I've seen many officers that use LEAN because they see a cute girl driving a great car down the road, and they use that car to pull, to find out where they live. They end up showing up at their house or near their location. And I can tell you that there are several officers at the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, even now, that have committed LEAN violations. They were not prosecuted. They were reprimanded, written up, given a couple of days off. And that's the end of it.
An administrative action instead of any kind of a criminal action.
Right, and there is a fine.
I would argue that
associated.
those are the ones that were caught at this. I think that these LEAN violations happen on a regular and routine basis, and it's just considered standard procedure.
And you know this because you spent quite a bit of time in the Oakland County office, right?
Oh, 18 years.
That's what I wanted to get to our listeners, is that you have
Absolutely.
extreme experience with this field in this particular office. You're not coming in as an outsider. You're coming in as a knowledgeable, well-heeled
Correct.
person, right?
Correct. I spent 28 years in law enforcement, and when we talk about LEAN, it's kind of cute because I started my police career as a police cadet with the city of Pontiac. And a police cadet is basically the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. You're not a certified law enforcement officer because you're not old enough. You start right out of high school. But you do every, can I say crappy job? But you do every crappy job at the police department.
Mm-hmm.
One of those jobs, I was a 911 operator, and I had to sit with the dispatcher and answer the phones. And I was responsible for entering liens and running liens on people and entering stolen cars. So I know a ton about lien, what it is, what it's supposed to be used for, its purpose, and the penalties.
And at that time, you were not even a licensed law enforcement officer. You were just in training, and you had access to the lien system. In fact, your job was to...
Well, right. But we did have to go through, you do have to go through the state training in order. So you cannot use the lien system if you're not state trained.
Okay. And what we're
But how many people are state trained, though? I mean, outside of just law enforcement, who else is state trained to look at lien, work with lien?
You know what? That's a great question. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look into that. I am sure that
there have to be other businesses and contractors that work with the state.
Private investigators,
Right.
I know, have some access to lien.
We just got
entities.
through iChat. You can get access to Lean for $10. You can get a user ID and then have access to iChat.
Well, I would say the Secretary of State, I know that I wanted a license plate run, and I want to go through it, like you said, not illegally. I know enough police officers.
Right.
I'm not going to, number one, I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't put them in that predicament. I wouldn't do it
Thank
myself.
you, by the way. Thank you for being respectful like that.
Right. So I called the Secretary of State. This was just last week. And they told me that there's a fine. I think it's $7 is the fee, but they actually look at it. If it's not your license plate, they look at it to see if the reason that you're giving to run the plate is acceptable, and then they decide whether they're going to run it or not. So it's not a carte blanche, even through the Secretary of State, if you want a plate run.
But what you just said is, if you use a good enough reason, they're going to give it to you. So if you're a skilled, purveyor of the facts, shall we say, if you're a little creative in the way that you do it, you can get anything you want.
Are you suggesting that if you lie, you mean?
It would be fair to say
about it?
That if you deceive them, you could get any.
Well, who I want to run is, I actually was trying to get to the bottom of who was driving, who owns the vehicle that Brooks Patterson was in when he was in the accident.
That's an excellent question. And did we have any kind of an answer to that?
Well, I did not get the response, although on the official police report from Auburn Hills, the vehicle is shown the owner, LaFontaine and Highland. And Mr. Patterson's press person says, I actually got a response on my Facebook. He wasn't happy that I put that out there, that Brooks Patterson was driving a vehicle that belonged to LaFontaine, and that was my argument all along. I believe that when Brooks Patterson said, I'm giving all of the county cars back and I'm saving the county money, it was, well, I've seen it enough. I've been there, let's just say, that I know that a lot of the county hierarchy have been driving vehicles that were given to them as favors. And I know as a police officer, I'm not allowed to take a $60,000 favor. So I wanted to know who owned the car. And it comes back to LaFontaine. And his press person is saying he was leasing it from LaFontaine. And in my law enforcement experience, I've never seen a lease vehicle. When I run a lien, come back, it will say leasee, leaseor, and it will have both
exactly,
names.
because that's who it's registered to.
Correct. And it says owned by
Right.
LaFontaine, Highland, Michigan. So I wanted to run the plate. And so that was the banter I had. So my question is, if I send that $7 in, are they really going to give me that information on Brooks Patterson?
Well, maybe we can flip $10 on iChat and look it up there.
I don't know. Maybe we should all chip
in. The dollar is mighty influence, isn't it? When people start peddling dollars around, it ends up breaking rules or bending rules or completely curtailing a system designed to regulate
and
things.
that's why there's rules against it. Yep.
I mean, if Brooks Patterson goes out and leases a vehicle, great for him. But I don't think that was the case. And I think that the county taxpayers, it's all about that twisted word and what you really do. And, he's got a lot of friends, and that's great. But as a county official, if in fact we find that vehicle does in fact belong to LaFontaine, then I think it shows an air of impropriety and a quid pro quo, and I think that's a problem.
And this is the status quo that you're running against.
Absolutely.
You're trying to say that this is the kind of stuff that Wayne County, didn't Brooks Patterson have something to do with Wayne County at one point?
Well,
this is the kind of, I'm just saying, in the long run.
Media, the general media in this county, in this area, will not print negative publicity or even go after anything that we present to them, whether it be lien violations, criminal law violations on police officers. Currently, we're asking, them to look at a situation, and I have it right here, where one of the current sheriff's best friends was given a $2 million outside contract to run the civil division. Our civil division at the sheriff's office has been privatized.
So you're saying he outsourced a position to a family member?
No,
or a friend?
He outsourced a position to a friend. And actually, this friend, when the current sheriff took the job, this current friend was immediately hired as a Deputy 1 and was supposed to be assigned to the jail. So when you come in, Ryan knows, when you come in, you hire in, you automatically go to the jail. This gentleman never worked a day in the jail in his life. As a sergeant, I carried him in the jail, which means he was supposed to be there, but every single day for 10 straight years, I had to hire a deputy on overtime at time and a half.
To do the job he was
And
supposed
guess
to
what
do.
this guy was doing?
Wow.
He was driving the current sheriff around, filling his gas tank, and doing all of his errands. He was his gopher.
Well, let's talk
10
about
years,
this in
10 years.
Let's talk about this in greater detail in just a few moments because we're coming up on another break here shortly. But I'd like to tie this into the comparison with Wayne County versus Oakland County because they're sister. They're sisters. They're bordering counties.
Right.
And many of the personnel often to kind of go back and forth. I've seen a lot of people who were in Wayne County run for Oakland and Oakland run for Wayne. It seems to be a lot of back between those two counties. So let's kind of compare and contrast what's going on and who's there and highlight your position in your campaign as it relates to ongoing affairs. Because I know you got more to say.
Oh.
I know you got more to say, Jane Felice Boudreau.
That's a guarantee.
I'm Italian, of course.
We came in here to record some commercials earlier. We had to stop the hand thumping because it was making all the
I'm
noises
like,
on
I'm
the
Italian. I got to sit on my hand.
Talking with the hands.
Incidentally, that was a lot of fun, by the way.
It was fun. It was very fun.
So look for more commercials to come from the Boudreau campaign because you guys are out there. Are you guys putting up signage? And you're trying to raise money. We need to talk about that.
Well, we got it low. Whew. We got lots to talk about.
So much going on. In the meanwhile, I just wanted to put out an idea. If people can please pray for Greg Starks. He's a member of our activist community. He's a cancer victim, and it looks like he's having a really rough time right now. And he could not make it through it. I don't know, but we want to pray for him and his family. We wish him well. I just wanted to make that mention. People out there struggling all the time inside this community, and it disheartens me to see people working so hard for this group sometimes perish. It's not a comfortable thing.
You never really get used to that.
You don't.
Unfortunately, a friend of mine and a very good friend of SIP's from the radio show that follows ours just passed last month. Brian, and it's very difficult.
It is, and it's something that you don't get over, but it's something that we have to acknowledge and move on with. And I just wanted to offer the opportunity for people to pray for Greg and his family because that's that time. As we approach the going into the 1 o'clock hour, don't forget that Mike Sipp and company are on with the Homegrown Report. And then also I wanted to gain your attention to the idea the Grain Bee Collective out in Ann Arbor is running their, what is it?
Their farmers market. They're located at 401 South Maple Road.
They're out there until 5 o'clock. There is a farmers market in Ann Arbor. 734-929-2553 is the number to call. Be right back.
More of your calls next. We gotta bend over or no? Yeah, you gotta. Okay. Steve and Rick will be right back after this. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
Introducing the Bolt, an incredible tool patients and caregivers find invaluable. It's widely known that concentrates are an effective yet expensive quick fix for pain and nausea, but oils and earwax are messy and easy to waste. The Bolt is made of titanium, just a dab, easy to use. No mess, no expensive waste. Get the Bolt and the new Thunderbolt, made in the USA, right here in Michigan. Details on how to equip your club or dispensary at the-bolt.com or call 586-540-7582. The Bolt, 586-540-7582.
If you or someone you know received a traffic ticket, has been charged with a misdemeanor, drinking and driving, criminal offense, or has had their driver's license taken away, they need an attorney. They need attorney Glenn McCandless. He's helped hundreds of people solve their legal problems over the past 16 years.
My law firm is dedicated to providing quality legal services at affordable rates.
Call us at 586-755-2900. Again, that's 586-755-2900. Call now.
Hey, Steve Greene here for the medical marijuana certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville.
The Green Bee Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Green Bee Collective.
Collective. The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Green Bee Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Green Bee Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Green Bee Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now.
When opening a marijuana-related business or club, it's vital that you obtain expert legal advice right away. 14-year legal veteran and respected field expert Denise Policella founded Cannabis Attorneys of Mid-Michigan to provide focused expertise to the developing industry. She's uniquely suited to help your business grow and remain open. And with attorney Timothy McDonald, now provides premier representation on criminal charges, raids, and asset forfeitures. Click on smallbusinesslegal.net or call 517-546-1181. That's 517-546-1181. Hey, Metro Detroit, come to Nature's Alternative, a clean, safe, secure cannabis provisioning center on the Grosse Pointe Detroit border on Mack Avenue. Nature's Alternative has a professional, knowledgeable, and friendly staff helping patients and caregivers daily with a complete line of medibles, concentrates, topicals, and raw flowers. You'll get only the best medical-grade cannabis produced by Michigan growers and caregivers at Nature's Alternative. Open 7 days a week. A proud supporter of the National Patient Rights Association. Details at naturesalternativeclinic.com or call 313-885-0000. That's 313-885-0000.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show. 1310 WDTW, Detroit's Progressive Talk.
Weed smokers don't bother anybody.
You know, that's what I keep telling everybody. Weed smokers don't bother anybody, but then you got people like this.
I'm totally against people smoking pot at home, in the streets, anywhere.
Yeah, you know what I got to say about that? You know, I won't say it because I was going to play the other one. You know, all women are evil lying bitches. That's what I was going to.
That got me in trouble. Don't do that again.
Ouch.
Yeah, not with Tough Woman over here in the studio.
I'll just play it because it's funny.
All women are evil, lying bitches.
There you go. I did it anyway.
We did it. Oh, no. I can't believe it.
Okay,
You're going to be putting a half Nelson in just a
right?
second.
I'll play this in response.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
There you go.
All right.
So, you know, we just got button happy for a minute.
Hey, you know, we gave some props to the farmers market that's going out on the Green Bee Collective, but there's a couple of other ones going on today, too.
There are.
Woodward Health Solutions right down there on Woodward Avenue, just north of 6 Mile. They're rocking it out, and they'll be there till 5 o'clock today. And
you can't forget about the one up in Flint, too. You got Genesee County Compassion Club every single day of the week.
Yeah, I think they're rocking 6. I don't know if they're doing 7.
But okay. They're not open tomorrow.
It's amazing, but they do a fantastic job up there. And leading in political activism. They have a radio program similar to ours on Flint Talk Radio. Lots of good stuff in Flint.
And out in Jackson, too.
Jackson County Farmers Market at 135 West Pearl Street in Jackson. All over the place, folks. People are looking for alternate ways to obtain and do it in a legal manner.
If you've ever been to a food co-op, picture in substitution of food.
Same thing.
Cannabis products. Yep. There you go. That's what a great thing.
The diversity that you get there, the variety, the selection, the different styles and types of things.
And the difference between that and a dispensary model is the idea that, dispensary sets prices for different versions of what they have there. In the farmers market model, you've got direct people working, you've got competition with you amongst farmers.
Negotiation.
So you've got some different pricing available.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes dispensaries test everything they put out, and a lot of farmers markets don't have testing. So there's positives and negatives on both ways.
I'm not promoting one or the other.
No,
I'm just saying there are different opportunities that meet different people's needs.
Exactly.
This one being probably a price point need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if you're noticing that 2 years ago we didn't have any in the state, and now all of a sudden we've got some very successful ones. I think that we're moving as a society towards acceptance of this in the same way that we accept traditional farmers markets.
Well, it's about time. I say it's about time.
Yep.
So back to the meat of the day, which is what's going on with the candidate position.
I think he just called you the
sheriff.
meat of the day.
I think he did.
I don't think that's nice.
Well, come on.
That?
Good Lord.
Good
you can't use a euphemism in any way anymore. So I'm very familiar with the idea that Kevin Spittler from MedJoint, who we're going to go see next week, is on the phone. I think he wants to make a comment with regards to the candidacy of Miss Boudreau. Kevin, welcome to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. How's everybody doing today?
Great.
Fantastic.
Did you have a question for our candidate today?
Yeah, I just got a quick question or comment. Great to meet her, by the way. And like I said, she's more welcome to come out and visit us anytime to visit our facility. My question is, Well, we do a concoction called topical oil at our facility. It's actually the Holy Anointing One's oil minus myrrh, infused with small extract cannabis extracts. Basically, this is a way of people are able to use marijuana as medicine without getting any sort of high side effects.
Right. I've heard of it.
Okay. Now, if people are unable to get high on this topical oil, are they able to abuse it?
Well, I guess that's a good question for you guys, my professionals in the studio.
No, the point being is that there's medication without intoxication.
Correct.
And although that it's derived from a Schedule I plant, although it doesn't have any of the psychoactive effects.
Correct.
As a sheriff, would you then make it a priority to pursue anybody that had this particular product?
Well, I guess my position is, as the sheriff, I think that I have bigger fish to fry, and I think that this medical marijuana issue, the people have spoken. That's the bottom line to me. The people have spoken. If I have somebody who's out selling on a corner, it's a whole different story. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I was a drug abuse resistance education officer. I'm not going to say that I am for complete legalization, but if you are falling within the limits of the law and you're doing what you're supposed to do, I don't have an issue.
Right. And then, I don't know, I guess I'm going to take it one more step further.
Okay.
Now, what if the person you came across had a little half-ounce bottle of this topical oil? Like I said, there's no way you can drink the whole bottle. You can't get high off it. What if the person you came across didn't have a patient card? And they had this compound that nobody's unable to get high on. You can't test positive for it either. What would your position be?
Well, I mean, if we came across it and we tested it and it tested positive, under the law, I don't have a choice. So I'm sure that you would probably get a ticket or you would be arrested. I guess the bottom line for me is that if it's necessary and you have a medical purpose needing medical marijuana, then we just have you go and make sure that you follow the confines of the law. It's like me pulling someone over and them having a vial of Vicodin and it's not in their name. Even though it's legal, that's a problem. So we have to make sure that as long as you're in the limits of the law, then we move forward. And then I think that if you were saying that the oil, if it's something that you cannot get high, you got to remember that the street officer is not the one who does the testing. All of those things go to a lab. So usually what would happen is you would be pulled over. If they suspected something, they would then take it, send it to the lab, be tested, and then from there, if it fell into the parameters of something you'd be prosecuted for, you would, unless, of course, you had the medical marijuana card.
Which gives you an exemption.
Right, which gives you the exemption.
We go back to the beginning question. You said you had bigger fish to fry. Now, wouldn't this be considered a small fish?
Correct. To me, it would.
Because these people are using medicine, not getting high off it. Yeah, it's not in their name, but like you said, you got bigger fish to fry.
I do have bigger fish to fry. We have a jail that we just let 228 people out on early release because of emergency jail overcrowding. And this current sheriff created that mess himself because a couple of years ago when all the budgets were being slashed, the county commissioners came to him and said, we need you to slash X amount of dollars. He had a choice. He kept his tanks, he kept his helicopters, he kept his Harley Davidsons, he kept all of his toys, and he closed down 5 jail facilities. He closed down our regimented boot camp that we know saves $18 million a year, and it gives inmates an opportunity to learn discipline and to move forward and to learn some skills. And, and there's a lot of people who, inmates that were brought up that maybe didn't have a great home life. And if we can send them to the regimented boot camp and we can actually send them out with some skills and teach them skills, how and it saves us $18 million a year. I have yet to hear from from 4 years ago when the sheriff ran to now why he closed that facility. And even the judges, when he closed the facility, couldn't believe it. I mean, there's judges quoted. So
great point. Thanks for your call, Kevin. Hey, I got a question for you, Jane, with regards to budget.
Yes.
Didn't you take some issue with the way that Bouchard has handled the sheriff's budget?
Well, absolutely. Again, like I said, he we keep these toys, and I'll call them toys.
Well,
it's all of us all of us, Steve, right now. I mean, I have 3 kids, one going to college, two others. I'm still supporting. And when the economy goes bad, you don't get to go on as many vacations. You got to sell the RVs. You don't get to have the hot tub in your backyard. I mean, think about 5-6 years ago, all of my neighbors and everybody had boats and everybody. It's just, I'm a mom. I had to slash my budget. He needs to get rid of his toys too. And I think we need to go back to the basics.
Good.
Back to the basics.
You were on another program that I'm involved in, the Planet Green Trees program.
Yes.
You were on an interview there, and you said that
Thursdays, incidentally, at 8 o'clock.
Thursdays at 8 p.m. on blogtalkradio.com.
There you go. Michael, good morning, family.
What you said was your goal was to get police officers out of their automobiles, that they have so many toys inside their cars that it's almost like there's no incentive for them to get out and interact with the populace anymore. And you thought that was a real failure.
Well, we've put so much in the vehicles that even if a police officer gets involved in a minor accident, the risk of them getting harmed is so incredible. You've got our portable lean machine in the car. You've got radar detectors. Now, every police officer, most police officers in Oakland County, I know at the sheriff's office, they all have cameras in the car now, front and rear. And they also carry a microphone and have that on them. So think about all that stuff that's mounted to the dashboard and all within that vehicle.
It's like CyberCop.
Yeah, and you get in an accident, that stuff goes flying everywhere.
Right.
But it's just about, I think, when I was a training officer, and I used to be a field training officer, so if you're a new rookie, you come out and you get to ride with Grandma here. And I get to show you, right? And Ryan, he knows.
I rode with Grandma.
He rode with Grandma. He knows. And you know what? It was funny because you get out there and you try to teach these guys, and right away it's like they don't want to write a ticket unless a radar detector. I want you to see how to write a ticket. I want you to notice that guy who's cutting 4 people off, and
develelong basic
right
skills
on.
instead of
Basic
relying on
skills.
technology.
We'll be right back with more. Got to go to break on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
More of your calls next. 810-423-2350. We'll be right back after this on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now. The law offices of Targowski and Grow remind you to stand up for your rights. Always treat law enforcement with respect, but if you're detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search or seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorneys, John Targowski and Daniel Grow. Targowski and Grow have the education and experience you need to be successful in Michigan courts. Call Targowski and Grow toll-free, 800-957-1069. The law offices of Targowski and Grow, 800-957-1069.
Nothing bonds friends quite like a day of white-knuckling it together. And Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio is just the place for it, because you'll be clenching your fists in anticipation of one adrenaline-pumping, stomach-testing roller coaster after another. Like Top Thrill Dragster, which takes you from 0 to 120 miles per hour in less than 4 seconds at 420 feet up. And Maverick, where after several twists and turns, you'll be launched through a 400-foot pitch-black tunnel. Not to mention the Giga Coaster Millennium Force, with an awesome 300-foot first drop and 4 overbank turns. But the anticipation doesn't stop there, because after the sun goes down, there's Luminosity, the nighttime spectacular filled with music, lasers, and fireworks. And there's never been a better time to go, because you can save $15 with the weekday saver ticket available online only at cedarpoint.com. Check out all other online-only discounts too and save now. Plan your day of screams at cedarpoint.com. Cedar Point. Thrills connect.
Introducing the Bolt, an incredible tool patients and caregivers find invaluable. It's widely known that concentrates are an effective yet expensive quick fix for pain and nausea, but oils and earwax are messy and easy to waste. The Bolt is made of titanium, just a dab, easy to use. No mess, no expensive waste. Get the Bolt of the new Thunderbolt, made in the USA, right here in Michigan. Details on how to equip your
your club or dispensary at the-bolt.com or call 586-540-7582. The Bolt, 586-540-7582. The Medical Marijuana Radio Show is the most listened to show like it in the state, #1. And there's no wonder. We take our listeners to amusement parks and give away awesome prizes just for listening. Get your product or service known to patients and caregivers and reach this group like never before. Call 810-423-2350. YouTube, Ustream, and social media in combination with 1310 WDTW and RadioWeedShow.com give you huge visibility. Affordable, effective advertising is here. Call 810-423-2350 now.
1310 WDTW, Detroit's Progressive Talk. The Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Hey, we've just got a few minutes left on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. I want to invite you to contests. You got an opportunity to win a Dragonlight Easy Vaporizer from Puff Danny's in Fort Street in Wyandotte. Or you could choose the Bolt, which you just heard about during the commercial break, for concentrates. If you might want to get the Titanium Bolt or the Thunderbolt, you can pick between them if you want. We've got one of each to give away. And we've got Cedar Point consolation prize tickets. So in case you don't win either one of those, you could certainly go to Cedar Point with us. It's on September 29th. We'll give you tickets to the park. You come watch the show and hang out at the park for Halloween weekends. So 810-423-2350 is the number to call. 810-423-2350. If you want to call now to get in on the contest, all you got to do is know a question about the last radio show that we were on 1310, which is a couple of weeks ago. So if you think you might know the answer to that question, you'll get an opportunity to pick your prize. And if you don't win, we'll give you some Cedar Point tickets. 810-423-2350. Right now we got Ryan with the radio cannabis news. Are you ready to go, Ryan?
Yes, I am.
Here we go. Ryan Bago. Well, microphone.
You don't have me on. There we go. All right. With the November election less than 2 months away, the people of Colorado, Oregon, and Washington have a chance to legalize marijuana for personal use on November 6th. Along with those states having legal marijuana votes, Massachusetts, Montana, and North Dakota, and Arkansas will have ballot measures for medical marijuana use. In an interview with Colorado station KRDO-TV, Republican Vice President nominee Paul Ryan says he believes it's up to the states to decide whether legalization is good for them. According to KRDO-TV, Ryan made it clear that medical marijuana is not for him, but he does believe it's up to the states and the people of those states to make those choices. That's your medical marijuana news. Thank you.
You're getting better on the news, Ryan. Have you been brushing up?
You inspire me. Actually, it's Jane here. She's my inspiration.
I see. You're not singing in the shower? That's not helping?
No. I don't shower.
You don't gargle before you come on the air?
You can smell me from here, I'm sure.
We're losing people.
I hope not.
Yeah. All right. So we are going back to, we're getting ready to do the contest in moments. It looks like some people are loading up on the phones. In a moment, I just wanted to get back to Jane and her campaign because I really want to see a win. I've always root for the underdog. I'll just reveal my position and say that I want to see Jane Felice Boudreau win. So, 2 questions real quick. If people want to make a contribution to your campaign, how do you accomplish that?
Well, there's 2 ways. Number 1 is the easiest way is to go to the website. It's www. And I'll spell it because my name has got a lot of vowels. Boudreau for Sheriff. It's BOUDREAU for FOR Sheriff.com. BoudreauForSheriff.com. They can click on 2 things I'd love. Number 1 is the email so that they get all the email blasts because we are having a fundraiser at the Uptown Grill in Walled Lake on October 1st from 6:30 to 8:30.
I'll be there.
I love it. And then the second way is they can click the donate. It goes right through PayPal. And also, if they want to mail a check, the check has to go and they can find the address on the website. The one thing that you need to remember is that if the check is over $100, which that would be fabulous, if the check is over $100, I need to know your employer's name and where you work, and that's just campaign finance. And the maximum contribution per person is $3,400.
Really quickly, last words about anything you want to say about the campaign, your position, and
I would just say, we need to look at the history, and I believe we need to have him run against what he's done. As our sheriff, when he was appointed, He ran for U.S. Senate against Senator Stabenow, and he lost, all while making and I think at the time he was making about $122,000 or $130,000 a month. When he ran in 2008, as soon as he was done running and he won, he ran for governor. He lost. He's been campaigning on our county dime for much too long.
He's been running for other offices. Is that what you were saying?
Absolutely. Running for other officers the entire time he's been our sheriff. He's an absentee sheriff. We need somebody who's committed to law enforcement. I have 28 years. I will be there. You'll be sick of me. I'll be there.
That's great.
You won't need to see my name on everything.
So we'll plan on seeing you on October 1st?
October 1st.
All right.
Uptown Grill.
Thanks for coming, Jane Boudreau.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
We want to see you as the Oakland County Sheriff. That'd be an awesome thing. So let's go ahead. We got seconds left on the program. We got to try and get the contest out of the way. With us on the program is John. I don't want to say your last name, John. Welcome to the show. Is that your real name, John? Hello? John?
I think John's in his car.
John's in his car. Okay. So are you ready to play? Do you have a question? Because I don't have a question. I forgot the question.
Yeah, what lake were we at when we did our last show?
Oh, dude, you're not supposed to ask it yet, you dumbass. Good Lord.
Well, you asked if I had a question.
I said if I got to play this too. Okay, here we go. I'm the dumbass. Okay, here we go. We got to play. Do you have an answer for us? Because I'm playing that for me, by the way.
What lake were we at?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening. What lake were you at?
What lake were you at when we did our last broadcast? We did a broadcast. It actually didn't air very well on 1310, but it was actually on 1310. We did a live broadcast from a lake. It was Stoner Dam Lake. What lake was it?
Oh, God. I don't know.
That's a really tough question.
Lake Erie.
Oh, I don't even know if we said the name of the lake. Did we ever say?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
It's Lake Gillette is what the name of the lake is.
It was Lake Gillette in
That's only because I've
Jackson.
been there a couple times. I know that. Otherwise, give them the...
I was probably medicated when I was listening to your show. I don't remember it.
Can't be responsible. So let's ask you if we got John Cedar Point tickets for you. We got to give you Cedar Point tickets to try and come with us on September 29th. So we'll put you on hold and we'll get your name and your number and stuff, and we'll put you down for Cedar Point tickets and drag you along with us.
Congrats,
Thanks,
John.
I'll be there.
Good
job, John.
Talk to you soon. So Jamie, I noticed Jamie Lowell had texted us during the show. What was he arguing about, the dispensary model versus the farmer's market model?
He was just giving us extra reasons why you'd want to support Jane Boudreau.
She's from Oakland County. She's
where
fair.
we broadcast our show from every day.
I think he was calling to tell us, hey, there's other reasons. Look, come to dispensaries too. We love you, Jamie. Jamie's from Third Coast Compassion Club, Compassion Center.
First established.
It is the oldest and the first. In they're at 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. You want to come down there and see.
Yes, they are.
So, welcome to another day in the face of this political game. It's going to be coming this fall very soon with this whole business with. I think September
11th.
Make sure you're registered to vote. The time limit is...
we got to go on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show and RadioWeedShow.com are trademarks. Copyright 2011.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The comments, ideas, and opinions expressed in the preceding program are those of the show participants only. Nothing stated in this program reflects the ideas, opinions, or beliefs of this radio station and
This is
Clear Channel
Detroit's
Radio.
Progressive Talk, 1310 WDTW, Dearborn, Detroit. Listen 24 hours a day on iHeartRadio.